That girl that you see there on the thumbnail is the one that I met down in Medellin, Colombia back in 2021. If you're new to this channel, I would really appreciate it if you guys can subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, hit the down button if you don't like the video. But I would really appreciate your feedback and your support. It really goes a long way in terms of increasing the audience of the channel and of these videos. Anyway, this is part 3, I guess. This is the 3rd time that I'm going to be talking about my experience down in South America and Colombia back in 2021, and I will talk about this story. I've had a couple of folks that have asked me, what do I think about women down in Colombia, or what women do I find most attractive out of all the places that I've been to. And with this girl that you see on the thumbnail there, I met her on a dating app. I was basically 5 days into my 10-day vacation trip down in Medellin, and I remember vividly that day. It was pouring rain, as it usually does down in Medellin. It seems like it rains every day down there, especially in the afternoon. And I couldn't go out that day for obvious reasons. So what I decided to do, because I was terribly bored, was I'm going to go ahead and start a dating app. I'm going to upload a dating app. I'm going to put up my profile and see what happens, because prior to me going to Colombia, I did see I watched many videos on YouTube, and I read some articles on Bing regarding the dating scene down in that city. And so what I did was I downloaded the app. I uploaded my pictures. I put up my profile, where I was from, what I was doing down there. And within about 3 to 4 hours after I created my Tinder account, I got contacted by this girl, and she basically just said hello. That was basically it. So she said hi. I replied to her, and off we went into having a conversation on the dating app. Basically, just asking qualifying questions, small talk. She was basically interrogating me, where I was from, why I was using that app, why was I down in Medellin. She asked me if I was Colombian. I told her, no, I'm not Colombian. I am Latino, but I'm not from, I told her that I wasn't from Colombia. And then she asked me my age. I asked her, same thing, same questions basically. And so after a couple of hours, we decided to exchange WhatsApp numbers, because apparently it's the thing to do in the 21st century, I guess. In 2021 at the time, was to exchange that number, use that app to communicate with people. Since I'm here in the United States, I don't use WhatsApp, because I just use the normal texting mechanism that's available. But when you're communicating with somebody from another country, typically you either use WhatsApp or you use Viber in order to communicate. But anyway, so we started talking, and then we decided that it was a pretty good idea to arrange some sort of a date. And she suggested for us to meet over the weekend. When she initially contacted me, it was on a Thursday. So it only took about 2 days for us to meet in person. I actually wanted to meet her on Sunday, because I had arrangements. I had sightseeing itinerary things that I wanted to accomplish on that Saturday. But she said that because of her schedule, of her working schedule, and the fact that she was working 6 days a week, she said that the best night for us to meet was on Saturday. So we went ahead and we arranged to meet at a very popular area there called Plaza Florida. Florida Centro Comercial is what it's specifically called, and it's a shopping center, basically a multi-level or multi-floor shopping center that's very close to the bus terminal, and it's very close to the metro station, which is called Caribe, which is about, I'd say, about 2.5 blocks from the shopping mall. So anyway, Saturday came, and she was asking me at what time I was going to be leaving to the place where we were going to meet, and I told her that I was already on my way to the shopping center. And the reason why I did this is because I was told, I don't know if this is true or not, it was certainly not true on this particular encounter, but I was told that Colombian people, and not all of them, but generally speaking, Colombian people tend to be very tardy. That they tell you that they're going to meet you at a specific time, and they wind up showing up an hour and a half later or an hour later. They hardly ever meet you at the time that you had specified that you were going to see each other. So I told her that I was already on my way to the shopping center, when in reality I was still in my Airbnb. So about 20 minutes later, I decided to walk over to the nearest metro station, which is called San Javier. San Javier is very close to a place called Estadio, but this metro station was called it's called San Javier, and it's, I believe, the last one of the, I don't remember what line it was, but that was the last metro station. So I walked down there. It was pouring rain. She actually wanted me to, believe it or not, drive her motorcycle, and I told her that first of all, I didn't know how to drive a motorcycle, and second of all, because of the chaotic nature of traffic down there, and it's typically very chaotic throughout Latin America, that's Medellin is no exception. I told her that I was not going to be driving because I just didn't want to cause an accident. So she told me it was okay. It wasn't a problem. So I walked to the metro station. I get in there and to the train, and all of a sudden I get a call from her, and she was basically telling me that she was already at the shopping mall. She was already waiting for me, and she was wondering what had happened to me, if I had gotten lost or something to that effect, because I had told her about an hour prior that I was already there. So anyway, I told her that I was still on my way. I got to the Caribe metro station. I got lost for about 5 minutes. I couldn't find the place. I asked a couple of locals to provide me with directions on how to get to the shopping center, to the Florida Centro Comercial. And eventually I was able to get there. I got there, ironically, about 40 minutes late. Here I was prejudging Colombian people for being late, when in point of fact, I was the one who actually arrived there late. And when I saw her on the second floor, she didn't look very happy. She was pretty annoyed, and she told me that she was on the verge of leaving. She wasn't even going to meet me anymore because I had arrived there late. And so I gave her a hug. We went to a place called Crepes and Waffles, which is like an ice cream parlor type of a place. We got there, we sat outside, and we just started having a conversation. And we were together for about 2 hours. She was just basically telling me about her job. She used to work for a bank, very prominent bank down there, and that she really didn't have much time to socialize because her schedule was pretty demanding of her time. She used to work six days a week. She worked about 8 to 12 hours a day. So she really didn't have much time to do anything, and so that was one of the main reasons she told me she was using the dating app. And after the 2 hours, it was time for her to leave because she had to go to a birthday party that one of her nephews or nieces was having, and apparently she was coordinating the birthday party, so she left. She hopped on a Didi. I actually called a Didi, and it came over and it picked her up. And then I called my Didi, and I left subsequently after that to my Airbnb because I was already pretty late. It was about 10 o'clock at night on Saturday. And there's some parts of Medellin that are pretty sketchy, that it's probably not a good idea to be walking around wandering off on your own, especially if you're not very familiar with the city. And like I said, that was I believe that was like my 5th day in the city, so I really didn't have any idea of what the environment was like. If you remember, back in 2021, the pandemic was still raging. There was a lot of restrictions still taking place. But nonetheless, there was a lot of establishments that were already open for business, and so there was a lot of restaurants and bars that were open, karaoke places and such. And but I didn't want to take any chances because I was all by myself. I traveled down there by myself, and I really didn't know anybody, so I just decided to call it a night, and that was it. I went to my Airbnb. The following day, I tried to arrange a second date with her, but she didn't want to meet with me anymore because well, she never gave me a specific reason, but I'm thinking that perhaps the reason she didn't want to see me anymore is because I arrived 45 minutes late to our date, and she was probably pretty turned off by it. But the reason I'm making this video again, this is the 3rd time that I'm talking about this, is because I continue to see a lot of videos out there about tourists that are traveling down to Colombia and unfortunately getting in serious trouble with women that are causing harm to them, drugging them, doing some pretty nasty stuff, man. I mean, it's outrageous what's taking place down there. But the moral of this story is that I consider myself very lucky that nothing really happened to me, because like I said, I met this girl on a dating app. I had no idea what her intentions really were. It could have been anything. She could have been one of those girls that was either a prostitute or was trying to drug me and steal my personal belongings or my money or whatever the case may be. And I was very lucky that she was just another regular girl. She was a down-to-earth girl. Nothing really happened. There was definitely some attraction between us. I can see it in her. I can see it in the way that she was acting. But I think that because I arrived late, that really just changed her mentality about me. And the fact that I told her that I was only down there on vacation and I wasn't going to be, staying there long term, was probably the reason why she didn't want to see me anymore. But there's definitely a lot of girls in Medellin that you can approach, that you can talk to on the streets, that you can talk to in public places. As I've said in my previous videos, Colombian people, or paisas as they are called in Medellin, they tend to be extremely friendly. They are very approachable. They're very engaging. They will talk to you if you talk to them. Not just women, but men and people in general down there. Very, very friendly. Unlike the people that I met in Lima, Peru, for example. Total opposite. I mean, those folks, man, they are really antisocial. not knocking Peruvian people, but they are the antithesis of Colombian people, especially there in Medellin. So if you're going down there, if you want to meet with women, I think that you shouldn't even engage women on dating apps. I think you should just go out and talk to them in person, talk to them in social environments and social circles, and I think you'll have some success, depending on how you look, of course, because looks do matter. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, looks make a difference. But if you talk to women in the streets or on the streets, they will absolutely engage with you, and you'll have a pretty good time getting to know them. But I would stay away from. I would definitely stay away from dating apps. If a girl approaches you and starts to flirt with you, chances are it's probably not going to lead to anything good. I would completely abandon them immediately. I would walk away from them. I would see them as salespeople, really, because I don't think that's common down in Colombia. I don't think that's common anywhere in the world where women are gonna make the first move and approach you and start flirting with you. That's just very, very unusual, unless they're trying to get something from you, right? Unless they're trying to get you to buy them dinner or buy them lunch or buy them a drink. I mean, that's basically the only reason they would approach you. So if you make the first move, if you see an attractive girl down there, and if you make the first move, chances are if they talk to you, chances are they're just normal, down to earth girls that are going about their business. Whether they're going to school, whether they're going to work, whether they're running errands, whatever the case may be. It's much better to do that and approach women that way, in a natural way, than to use the dating apps. Because the dating apps, there's a lot of prostitutes. I got contacted by a couple of women, but they were prostitutes. They were not. They were looking to just provide their services in exchange for money. So that's my experience. That was my story with respect to women down in Medellin. As I've mentioned in previous videos, my first couple of days I was talking to a lot of people, and they were extremely friendly. But then after I found out about some of the tactics that some women use down there, I decided to steer away from talking to people and just basically go about my business. If you don't talk to individuals down there, they will not bother you. I didn't see anything sketchy. I didn't see any nefarious behavior by people. It was all pretty quiet, pretty normal. The only incident that I saw was in El Centro. There was this couple, a very young couple, and they were arguing with one another, and eventually the guy literally punched the girl in the face. He closed his fist and punched her in the face. I mean, that was the only violent thing that I saw in my stay down in Medellin. But other than that, it was pretty chill, pretty normal. I didn't see any danger or anything like that. But then again, I was only there for about 10 days, so I really wasn't there long enough to get in any trouble. But anyway, that's my story. For those of you that had never watched my YouTube channel or any of the videos that I've recorded in the past, that's my story. And the word of advice again for you guys is, if you're gonna go down to Medellin, make sure that you don't use the dating apps. Talk to the girls in person. They're lovely. They will talk to you, and maybe something will happen, going from there. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Again, subscribe to the channel if you like my content, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you.